This is the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins. Agriculture is a labor-intensive and stressful environment, and Ohio Farm Bureau is working on a solution to close the gap in the healthcare coverage and overall well-being of Ohio Farm Bureau members who go without coverage due to a lack of affordable options. Ohio Farm Bureau is now seeking a way to offer members access to a more affordable healthcare plan. Learn about legislation that would create Farm Bureau health plans and how that could benefit you and your family. Coming up after this on the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast.
Hey, this is Matt, Phil, and Libby, hosts of Ag Credit Set It, your go-to podcast for insights on farm finance and maximizing your return on investment.
Tune into new episodes of Ag Credit Set It twice a month as we talk to industry leaders, financial experts, and farmers who share their experiences and perspective.
Listen in your favorite podcast app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and be sure to subscribe to Ag Credit Set It so you never miss an episode. We'll talk to you soon.
There's been innovative legislation introduced at the State House in Columbus to expand affordable healthcare access to rural Ohioans, and it has the full support of Ohio Farm Bureau. It's Senate Bill 100, introduced by Senator Susan Manchester. It'll allow Ohio Farm Bureau to offer individual health plans as a benefit to its members. To find out more about it, we bring in Whitney Bowers. She's with Ohio Farm Bureau, our Director of State Policy and Grassroots Engagement. Whitney, always great to see you. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So everything that Ohio Farm Bureau does is based on a need or a pain point, if you will, since we're going to be talking about health plans that come from our members. So in this case, what is that need?
The need here is our members are in dynamic structures that are kind of outside of the box of what a lot of traditional employers and employment may look like. And that puts them at a real disadvantage when it comes to having accessible and affordable health coverage. So we hear continuously from our members that they are not able to find health plans for their family that are affordable and provide a quality level of coverage. And so we've been working really hard to find a solution to help not only our members be healthier, but to really make agriculture a more sustainable place for its employees.
Is this being done elsewhere in the country?
It is. So it's a really great opportunity, and we've been able to spend some time learning from other states as what they've done. Tennessee has been doing this since 1993 in its current form. In the past 5 or so years, other states like Indiana, Texas, Kansas, Nebraska have all started implementing a similar program, Farm Bureau Health Plans. And it has been to great success as far as being able to help their members find affordable health plans and affordable coverage in those rural areas and for their families. And that's what we hope to do as well.
Of course, it's a long way to go until we see health plans come to fruition. Has to go through, as I mentioned earlier, the legislative process. Why does it have to go through those hoops in order to get to where we can offer our members, these great options?
Yeah, so we have to work through the legislature in order to be given the authority to offer individual health plans. Those individually rated plans are not the standard employee-based plans. If you don't have access to an employer-sponsored plan, this has given the option to other states, and again, what we're hoping to do as well, to where you as an individual or you on behalf of your family can seek an individual plan without having to be tied to an employer, or if you are self-employed, but maybe you're not a small business or, not in that ownership capacity of what you're doing, that you can seek coverage as an individual.
So along that front, who would benefit from an Ohio Farm Bureau health plan?
The most interesting part, I think, especially since we started sharing this with our members, is how many people have reached out with, these stories of my husband and I, we stopped working and we started a butcher shop and we now don't have coverage. We don't have an option. Or, my wife only works off the farm for health coverage, but at the same time, we're paying childcare. So when we hear from our members who are in these, complicated situations where they don't have coverage, they're not able to find something in the marketplace that they can afford, they don't have that employer-sponsored plan, that they're looking for something to keep their family healthy, it's a great opportunity for us to take it back to our members and be helpful. This is what can help you live a healthier life and have access when you probably haven't had that in the years past.
I guess when I hear the word affordable, I think there's maybe something missing, right? But what are we talking about as far as what a Farm Bureau health plan might cover?
Yeah, it's very comparable to what you think of when you think of what a healthcare coverage plan would look like. It's going to cover those office visits. It's going to have plans for emergency room visits, for the urgent care. There's dental, there's vision, there's access to resources for mental health counseling, both instant or you can set up virtual appointments or down the road if you want to meet with someone one-on-one. So a lot of the things that we think of, and again, a lot of the gaps that we know exist for our members, these plans will give them the opportunity to fill those gaps. And the intent, should the language pass, and again, we're in the early stages, so we're extremely hopeful and we're very motivated, especially as we hear from our members now that this is public facing and we're talking about this. We have such an urgency. I personally feel such an urgency in the past week or so with just people being like, this would be so impactful for our family. This could make such a difference to our bottom line. This would be so helpful. This would give us such a safety net and a comfort as we go about our days, and not just daily life, but agriculture is a labor intensive industry on its own. So we're hopeful that we can provide everything in a very accessible and in an affordable package to meet those needs that our members have identified for us.
I notice these are called healthcare plans. A lot of people think maybe when they put healthcare in a sentence, there's going to be insurance in that same sentence. Is this an insurance option?
No, the term insurance is often used broadly. It has a specific legal definition under state regulations. So a fully insured product is subject to state oversight, and then there are some similar models that are not legally classified as insurance. So this would allow us to offer our members health coverage that falls outside of that traditional insurance category. It's an alternative. It's a health plan alternative, but it definitely is very comparable to what people expect and what they see in other places.
We're already helping thousands of members with our Ohio Farm Bureau Health Benefits Plan. We've talked about that on the podcast several times. So what does this mean for HBP already in place for businesses and sole proprietors?
Yeah, that's been such a tremendous asset for our members. And, if you are in that HBP and you have you're a small business and you're offering that to your employees, you can still continue to do so. This is an additional option. So they are not one for the other, and they're separate products. If you look at it from a product sense, they both will continue to deliver a high quality of what we're both able to offer and the service as an organization behind it, but they are different and they will fit the needs. It will definitely fill different needs for different people. So if you have looked into the health benefits plan and it didn't fit the need for you, or if you weren't a small business, the health plan, the Farm Bureau health plan could really make a difference for you.
Yeah,
But
Farm
we
Bureau health
fully,
plans. Go ahead.
yeah, we fully expect that these two will continue to operate side by side and be two options now for our members instead of one.
Ohio Farm Bureau health plans could be a game changer for a lot of farm families all across Ohio. I mentioned the legislation was just recently introduced, Senate Bill 100. So, Whitney, what do members need to know now, and what would next steps be as we work through this legislation process?
Yeah, this is the fun part, right? Like this is the fun part where we get to communicate with our members and really ask for their engagement and their help. We can knock on every single door in around Capitol Square and talk to all the legislators, but one of the most important things that our members can do, and the value of being a membership organization and an advocacy organization, is that we have the ability to tell people what it looks like within their communities. So our ask to our members will be throughout this process, reach out to your legislators and let them know this is more than just a bill. This can have a tremendous impact on the community that you represent. Here's what it currently looks like. Here's how this could impact our lives. This could help our bottom line. This could improve the overall health and well-being of not just our family, but our community. And being able to really help give them that connection and that direct line of what that looks like. It really takes it off the paper of being, Senate Bill 100 and really makes it like, this is my community. These are people I represent and they're important to me. And they want to hear from members. They want to know what this looks like. And it will really help them also understand how complex agriculture employment can sometimes be and why such an out-of-the-box dynamic solution that we're pursuing could really be what fills that gap.
Something else our members told us they desperately need, and Farm Bureau coming through once again with Farm Bureau health plans. Again, it's Senate Bill 100. You can find out more about it online now at ohiofarmbureau.org. There's also an FAQ on what we're working on for our members as well. Whitney Bowers, Ohio Farm Bureau's Director of State Policy and Grassroots Engagement on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That'll do it. Thanks for watching, listening, wherever you might be. I'm Ty Higgins. We'll see you down the road. Find previous podcasts at ohiofarmbureau.org and search podcasts.